Okay, so my camera died a little bit, so I'm gonna actually finish up through here. We were talking about these my type of hook setups. So if you look right here, oh dang, well, we'll have to fix this later. But right here, you see there's the weight right here. About right here, there's the swivel. About 2-3 inches away from there, you have your first hook, and that's the first hook I like to put. You know, your live bait, your worms. You know, like things are gonna wiggle around or look like it's gonna be eating whatever's on this hook, and that's the dough, your shrimp, you know, pieces of meat, liver. And this is the setup I like to use for my catfish. I haven't really used it for carp yet, but I'm the same dynamics I'm feeling, because every time I fish for catfish, I happen to set a hook up on a carp, and they tend to eat I think the same diet around the same things in the same way, you know. But yeah, this is my actual favorite type of setup for cat so far. I've been testing this out. And then right here, this is actually my main hook setup. This is the type of setup I really like using. I've always used it. I use it for walleye, carp, cat, trout. I use it for all of that. I'm actually hooked up a couple bass, but there's I like to call it my teardrop setup, and it's because I like to use the teardrop weights to hook up onto my snaps. You got your swivel snap right here, and then you could put whatever type of hook, whatever type of weight, size, shape, whatever you want. And then right here, I always have like multiple lines, different lengths, different types of hooks on there, different setups. This is my favorite kind of setup because I can just snap through different like ideas I have set up for the day. And that's what I usually do. I like to have a bunch of hooks, and I have a bunch of things set up ready to go test them out. So this is actually one of my favorites. Catch a lot of walleye on that one, a lot of cat, and of course carp. Yeah, you know, plenty of carp. Those are some pigs. And then of course there's the beaded weight, which I don't like personally. Like if you know what weight you're gonna fish with, like what fish you're fishing with for, then yeah, and what bait you're gonna be using for this one, I'd say this is a good setup for you. It's this beaded weight with the bead on the bottom, which keeps the line from tangling. I like to keep a swivel head again, so you can switch out the hook whatever you want. But like, I would use this setup for like trout, maybe even ice fishing. I wouldn't spend too much time or effort really on this setup unless you know exactly what you're fishing for, or if that's your preference. I tend to not like that. So those are it. I like to use all Shakespeare, all Abu Garcia. So Shakespeare rods first of all, and Abu Garcia reels. The rods, they just tend to not. They just like, I like the flick, I like the action on them. There's like a natural flick to them, almost like you don't have to throw your arm out to get whatever you want, the distance you want. So this is my actual casting rod right here. If you look right here, this is my casting rod. This is the setup. I like to keep this little link right here. It's an Ugly Stick Elite. It's a medium. I like to use all medium, between 6 and 7 foot rods. They got this right here, the Max Z30, which is actually really good Abu Garcia rod. They have that new tightening action where you reel it to tighten it on to the actual reel. I actually am a funny fisherman. I am right-handed, but I fish left, which is, I guess, considered Mongo, whatever. this is the weight setup that I like to use. It's right here. As you can see, the snap is right on there already with the weight. You can change the different weights, different sizes, different shapes. Using another shape, you just switch it out, and you put your hooks right on there, whatever hook you want. Switch this weight out, whatever you want. One of my favorites. Easy. I've had my hookup ratio is actually really good off of this setup. This is the Ugly Stick GX2. This is actually the one I've beaten the hell out of these. Pulled in huge carp on these. Fought with some nice walleye with this, and it's really nice. It's no cracks, you hear no pops. Beat them to hell. The same thing with these Abu Garcia reels. You can put them on the ground, pick them up, and just start using them. It's actually really nice, which is this is the Pro Max 30. And this is actually a really nice one. This is about 8 bearing. No, this one is the 7 bearing. The other one was an 8 bearing. And the action on them is just like you can reel all day, and especially the fight on them, you can just, as long as that drag is out, you're gonna have a good fight. Now, if you look on this one, this is that one I was telling you about, the bead and the beaded weight. I don't really like the way these cast. I set it up to try it out to see what my hookup ratio is, and honestly I don't like it because even when I'm trying to set the hook, I'm so used to that egg helping me set that hook, and this one is just more like a drag. So it's just gonna pull it, and it's not gonna set that hook the way you want it. And I'm gonna have to switch it back because I do not like this setup. But this is my other, bottom fishing rod, my other bait rod. That the Black Max was another one. But this one right here is the Silver Max 40. I've had this one actually longer. It's outlasted my Mitchell. That one came with a warranty and everything on it. It was a more expensive reel. I put it down for a little bit. The crank for the reel bent. I don't know how, but it bent. So I bent it back, and you can just feel it just wasn't the same anymore. It's got an 8 bearing system. I honestly think if you just get a better, like a customized crank for the reel, it'll be a good rod. I mean, it's a good reel. It's a good reel. Just that needs to change. This is my spinning. So when I want to use spoons or my Blue Fox spinners, anything with spinning, or like my jigs, things I need to get around rocks. There's like you need that extra spin or movement to get around stuff. That's why I use this here swivel head on this one. This is the Black Max with the 4 bearing system, and it's got right here. I got the Black Max rod, and I decided to go for the rod because I wanted to test out that smaller eye loop system that they had going with this. It's supposed to be more accurate. It's supposed to be like, I don't know. It's supposed to be like the bait casters, and I've never liked bait casters to begin with. I know a lot of people do, and I've had one. I've used them. I've always had a spinning reel, and that's just my preference. I like the feel, I like the action, and I love the fight on them. I'm not so inclined to wanting to use my left thumb all the time, and not just that, with the bait caster, it's hard to switch back and forth because I do use my right hand a lot, and I do fish left hand, which is really, I think funny or unique. So I use this right here, and I like to use this one because it's mostly a trout rod, a little something that sunfish or something like that I can actually bend this with and stuff like that. And I do like the cast on this. The eye loops are actually really accurate, but you need your line to be wet, or at least you need to have it been loosened out a little bit before you get an actual distance with it, because of the eye loops. The eye loops are very accurate, but they take away from distance. So what I did was I would put on a heavier lure or just a weight, and I cast it out and get that line fed out pre-fishing. And then when I go out to go fish, my my little spinners, my smaller lures that go on this, they get better distance. And that was like, I think the coolest part about learning how to use these rods right here was being able to be accurate and get the distance on them with my Blue Fox spinners, because those spinners, they like to catch that air, they catch that wind and resist it whole way. I want to talk about my does right here. These are my homemade does that I've been working on. If you can look right here, that's one of them that I made on land. It starts off as this powder. All you do is you add water, lake water, whatever beer, whatever you're drinking, water. You add that to that, and it turns it into this dough. And what's cool about this is, since I didn't break this up, all I have to do is break it up now, add it back to this dough, and I re-wet it and reuse it. And I like it this way. It's easier to use whatever worms you're using. You can even dump them in there. My nephew recently caught a big carp on this. It was a fun fight for him. It was for his birthday. Decided to bring this up and test it out, see how it goes. Me and my other nephew, the one you always see in my video, is Baby Gorilla. We went out catfishing, and I took out this dough. This right here is actually chicken blood. And it's chicken blood mixed in with a bunch of other ingredients and stuff like that, so you can turn it into a dough. You can do the same thing, add water, turn it into a ball of water, you know, whatever. Roll your bait in that and just watch them come. And what I was doing was I was making a chum ball using that 2-hook system. I would put a chum ball right on the bottom of a worm that rolled around in this, and I was just pulling those little kitties out. And granted, none of the big ones were coming yet, but I was getting those good tugs. This right here is chicken liver. I have more of this because, you know, chicken livers. I dry it out. I crush it down myself. I do add in my own ingredients, add in my own stinks, smells. You know, you have, I guess, you know, it's not the best smelling, but I mean, it brings all the other fat cats, fat carp, because they love that stinky stuff. And right here, this is the stinky stuff. Thanks for watching my video. This is Lewis the DeadPole. Hopefully start getting more requests about this bait right here. I'm gonna start working more on making this, showing more videos of me actually using it and catching fish. I have pictures of the fish we've caught on it, but we haven't actually had videos of me using this stuff, and I'm gonna have to start doing that so you guys can see just like how cool it is. Even if there's the smaller ones, you know, you're getting bites. They're coming in because this stuff is what they want. Thanks for tuning in. Let's go catch some fish.